You ever look at a landscape and just wonder what's its story? I mean, we often think geography is just about memorizing countries on a map, right? But it's so much more than that. It's this incredibly powerful lens for understanding the amazing, dynamic story of our planet. So today, we're going to learn how to use it. So how do you actually do it? How do you read the history that's written into a mountain range, a river valley, or even your own city street? Well, it turns out every single place has a story to tell. You just have to know how to look. You know, geographers have this kind of secret code, a toolkit they use to make sense of the world around them. It's a framework that helps us ask all the right questions and see the connections that are hiding in plain sight. And here it is. It's called SPICESS. Now, it's an acronym for 7 core concepts that help us analyze basically everything from a single street corner to an entire continent. These 7 ideas, space, place, interconnection, change, environment, sustainability, and scale, they're the keys to unlocking any landscape story. So let's dive in and break them down one by one. Okay, first up, S is for space. This is the where of geography. But it's not just about a dot on a map. It's all about how things are arranged, the patterns they make, and how we organize that space. Next is place. Now, this is what turns a simple space into somewhere meaningful. It's the unique character, the feeling, and the importance we attach to a location, whether it's your own bedroom or a huge, breathtaking canyon. I is for interconnection. And listen, this one is a big deal. The most important idea here is that no place on Earth exists in a vacuum. Everything is linked, from the water cycle that brings rain to a mountain all the way to the global trade routes that connect our cities. This concept helps us trace all those hidden threads. C stands for change. See, landscapes aren't like static paintings. They are alive, they're dynamic, and they are constantly evolving. This can be from really slow natural forces like climate shifts over millions of years, or super rapid changes brought on by human activity. E is for environment. This is all about the relationship between us and the world around us. How do we depend on the environment? How do we use it? And, this is critical, how do our actions actually change it? And that leads us right into the next S, sustainability. This is all about thinking long-term. Are we using our planet's resources in a way that makes sure they'll be around for future generations? For all people and all living things? It's a huge question. And the final S is for scale. Think of this like the zoom lens for our geographer's camera. Looking at an issue like climate change at a local neighborhood scale feels way different than looking at it from a global perspective, right? Changing the scale completely changes our understanding. Okay, so now that we have our SPICESS toolkit, let's see it in action. Let's zoom right in on that concept of change and see how it's literally written on the surface of our planet in this never-ending cycle. So the Earth is constantly reshaping itself through this 4-part process. First up, you've got weathering, which breaks things down. Then erosion starts to move that material around. Transportation carries it on a journey, and finally, deposition builds something totally new. It's just breakdown, movement, and creation. And it's happening all around us, all the time. And that first step, weathering, it comes in 3 main flavors. You've got physical weathering, like water freezing in a crack and just splitting a rock wide open. Then there's chemical weathering, where different reactions actually dissolve the rock. And there's even biological weathering, where something as small as a plant root can wedge its way into a rock and break it apart. Now, all this broken down rock is the foundation for something we walk on every single day, but probably don't think about much: soil. And trust me, it is so much more than just dirt. It's a complex living system that is absolutely vital for life on Earth. So what's actually in soil? Well, this recipe might surprise you. Less than half of it is actually eroded rock. A whopping 50% is just air and water held in the little gaps. And then you have that crucial 5% of organic matter. That's the stuff that really brings the soil to life. And soil isn't just one big blob. It's organized in layers, which we call horizons. Right at the top, you have the O horizon, which is mostly leaf litter and stuff. Below that is the A horizon. That's the topsoil. It's the dark, nutrient-rich layer where most plant life just thrives. Go deeper, and you'll find the subsoil and the parent material, where the whole process of making soil gets started. Each layer has a unique and vital job to do. To see how these powerful forces can create something truly spectacular, Let's look at a really specific example of chemical weathering. We're going to explore the magical, hidden world of karst landscapes. Believe it or not, the recipe is pretty simple. Rainwater becomes just slightly acidic when it absorbs carbon dioxide from the air. When that weak acid hits limestone, it just slowly, patiently dissolves the rock, carving out these enormous, hidden worlds right under our feet. And this is what you get. Yuxi Cave. This incredible landscape wasn't carved by some giant, sudden event. It was sculpted by nothing more than dripping water over millions and millions of years. It's just a stunning reminder of the power of slow, gradual change. Okay, so we've seen how these forces can create a single, stunning landform. Now let's zoom way out and put it all together. Let's apply our entire SPICESS toolkit to a whole continent to see how these concepts really define a place like Australia. Just look at this data on water runoff. This is the concept of space in action. The distribution is incredibly uneven. The Timor Sea catchment gets almost a quarter of the entire country's runoff, while the huge Murray-Darling Basin only gets about 6%, and the South Australian Gulf gets practically nothing. This one single factor shapes everything from the environment to agriculture. And this brings us right back to interconnection. A landscape isn't just rock and water, it's also about people. Managing these vast systems isn't just a scientific problem. It requires understanding the deep, historical connection between people and the land, especially recognizing the centuries of stewardship and cultural importance these places hold for indigenous communities. Which really brings us back to this essential idea. From a single drop of slightly acidic rain to the continental distribution of water, every single element is connected. Understanding these links? Well, that's what reading a landscape is all about. So the next time you walk outside, take this geographer's lens with you. Go on, apply the SPICSS framework. What story is written in the hills, the rivers, the streets, and the soil of your own neighborhood? You might be totally surprised by what you discover.